So we're underway here. We thought the start time was at 3:30, but it's actually at 3. So Josh Miles and Tristan Messenger are not with us right now. I'm Evan Tyfield, joined alongside Grant Newman. We have a matchup here against Napanee versus Frontenac. We're a bit scrambled, as like I said, we were expecting the game to start half an hour later, so we're gonna see what happens here, but regardless, underway. Napanee with possession at the draw. Can't hold the zone, so they regroup at center. Napanee still with possession. Trying to work the zone. Napanee now in deep behind the net. Napanee around the boards, maintaining puck possession here, and Frontenac will come out with it now at the center line. Napanee back with possession going the other way, trying to work in the zone. They're onside. Shot, and that one's off the bar, and Frontenac possession in the defensive zone. Napanee manages to take the puck away, but Frontenac will regain here, now at the center line. 12-minute periods here, roughly 2 minutes gone in the first. Napanee here, a shot, and better save by the goalie. Frontenac with possession now, deep in their zone. Trying to get a pass out, and they do. Frontenac here with possession, and the regroup at the center line, waiting for more options, surveying, and that one gets picked off by Napanee, and they now have possession at their own blue line. Trying to pass, that one goes away, and it will be icing. As a result of the icing, play is down in the Napanee zone. Off the draw, Frontenac has possession. Race for the puck, and the Frontenac player will control. Frontenac player in possession behind her net, surveying. Working the puck up to center ice for Frontenac. Frontenac give away to Napanee now in deep. That one's going to be held by the Napanee goaltender. Off the draw, Napanee with possession behind their own net. Working it up the boards. Napanee at their own blue line and out to center now. Napanee on the rush, working in. They look for a shot, saved by the Frontenac goaltender.
And Napanee with possession of it along the point. They throw a shot towards the goal, and that one absorbed by the goaltender for Frontenac. Sorry for that, we had a couple of audio difficulties there, but Napanee has struck first and they score. However, it appears the goal has been waved off, so there'll be no change in the score. Most likely a dislodging of the net. Napanee with possession of the point tries to throw that one down along the wall, but it's picked off by Frontenac. Napanee picking that one off in neutral ice. Frontenac behind their own goal. Tries to clear it, but blocked by Napanee. Napanee centering pass, deflected away by Frontenac. Here comes Frontenac skating in. Shot on and stopped by the goaltender of Napanee. Now, Frontenac hustling back for it. Frontenac with possession now. They enter the zone, and a miscue on of communication on that one, and the puck will exit the zone. Frontenac will have to break back in. Napanee forces the turnover, and they come back the other way. Here comes Napanee. 87 throws a shot on towards the goal, and it is gloved down by the Frontenac goalie. That'll be Hannah Fournier. Napanee shot on towards the goal. Stopped by Fournier. Fournier making another stop there, and she'll cover it up, and we'll see a draw. Puck drop there. Napanee fighting for it behind the net. And Frontenac with possession of it along the wall on their own end. Turned over. Napanee with now tries to center, but unable to do so. Frontenac trying to break out here. Here comes Frontenac into the zone. Makes a nice move to get around the defender. Centering pass. Missing the mark. And the play is blown dead as the net comes off. For the 100th time. In the future, probably should be a little bit more consideration towards keeping the nets on actual posts, as they've been, every game we've commentated so far, they've come off very, very frequently and led to a lot of non-goals and stoppages. Turned over in the Napanee zone. Frontenac from the slot. Shot on. Shoulder stop there from the Napanee goaltender. That'll be Reed. Battle ensues in towards neutral ice. And now Napanee continues to battle to try and break it in, but Frontenac holds stalwart at the line, and they break it back in. Shot towards the goal, deflecting weirdly and into the equipment of Reed. No one knows where it is, but the puck did eventually come loose out of the jersey, and it's scooped up. Puck dropped, sent back to the point. That one just stays in at the line. Battle ensues along the boards. Into the near side corner now. Frontenac look for options behind the net. Takes their time, tries the centering feed, but that one picked off by Napanee. Another centering pass. Finds a player, but sends it wide. Compo with a dangerous chance there, but unfortunately sailed it wide, and Napanee comes back the other way. Here comes Napanee. Shot on. Stopped by Fournier. Battle behind the net, and tries to crash the crease, but unable to do so. Frontenac doing a good job boxing out. Napanee sending from along the point. Fournier makes another save from a shot from the point and covers up for the draw. Shot from the point from Napanee, scores! And that is going to be Carly Ewens. Ewens with a long-range shot and seeing eye, and beats Fournier, who I do not believe had sight of that puck, as there was not very much of a reaction there. Napanee doing a good job getting pucks towards the net. And they lead 1-0. Here comes Frontenac breaking into the Napanee zone, and checking the puck along the far side boards, and here comes Napanee back the other way. 2-on-1 chance here if they hurry. Shot on, stopped by Fournier. And assisting on that last goal from Ewens was Peyton Brooks, number 87. Frontenac attempting to break out here. Napanee strips Frontenac of the puck. However, Frontenac does manage to recover and they get it back. However, immediately turned over again, and Frontenac will just opt to clear their zone. Frontenac tries to chip it up the boards, managed to do so, and here comes Frontenac, Stain Street. Puck loose in Napanee's zone. Battle ensues along the boards in the corner. Frontenac still with possession. Cycling it around the point. Shot towards the goal. That one deflects and drops down dead in the slot. Napanee regains possession and they chip it out across the boards. Hustling for it now. There's a bit of a foot race. The Frontenac wins that one. Throws on the brakes and ditches the defender. Here comes Frontenac. Back in the other way. Turned over. Napanee with possession in the corner. Battling for it. Napanee turns it over, and we have a penalty on the play against Napanee. That'll be 2 minutes for cross-checking.
And Josh, I should point out, Frontenac kind of suffered from the same issue LaSalle was earlier. Their bench much shorter than Napanee, so it should be interesting to see how that affects them the further we go into this game.
And that'll be Napanee's captain heading to the sin bin. Now see the first power play of the game for Frontenac. We'll see how their special teams look and if they can capitalize on this opportunity to try and tie up the game. That shot looked for a deflection in the slot. Doesn't find one and sails to the corner. Sharp angle shot, played well down as the net comes off once more.
Josh, I'd expect to see that a few more times before the day is over. It's been a recurring theme here the last 2 days.
Indeed it has. Now Stain Street stepping in, wins the draw. Frontenac will attempt to set up here. Frontenac needs to spread out on this power play. Use all the open ice available in the O-zone. Battling for it along the boards is Stanley Street. Stanley Street with it now. And that puck flies out towards the end boards. And it'll be cleared all the way down the ice. Racing for it there is one of the Napanee players, as Osborne. Osborne trying to put on some heavy forecheck short-handed. And Osborne's stick got lifted. And we have a breakaway. Here comes Napanee in, scores! Short-handed Lexa Lazarokos buries the second goal of the game for Napanee, and Frontenac gives up a short-handed goal. Evan, what do you think giving up a short-handed goal like that does for the momentum?
I mean, it's certainly crushing, not on the right side. You're certainly expecting to score more than you're expecting to be scored on a power play, so not amazing for them. Good for them. They still have a little bit of power play time to try to make something happen, but not amazing. Like I said, short and bench, they're at a disadvantage already, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of resilience and tenacity they can approach this game with and try to get something going.
Indeed. Frontenac's power play not going to be happy with that result. But they still do have some time on the power play, so they see if they can get it back. There will be an assist on that goal by Carly Ewens, number 11. That pass broken up by Napanee. Napanee tries to clear the zone, but unable to do so. Penalty on the play against Napanee, and the whistle is blown. And it appears we will see a brief 5-on-3 advantage. So we'll get to see what Frontenac can do here on this brief 5-on-3. Play resumes. Frontenac with possession, centering pass. That one deflects out of the zone, and that's it for the 5-on-3. Back to it's the regular 5-on-4 power play. Some heavy forechecking pressure here from the Hawks on their penalty kill, as they don't want to give Frontenac any room to breathe. Coming in with speed here is Napanee, shot on, stopped by Fournier. The penalty, or the latest penalty, is for interference. Here comes Frontenac, trying to skate back the other way. Here's Day with it right now. Day throws the shot on, routine glove stop there for Reed. Still on the power play here, Frontenac is, and they'll look to set up. In the slot, dangerous opportunity, but it bounces all the way up. And a shot off the mask of Reed. And, you know, that's using your head. Frontenac still battling for it here in the O-zone. He gets possession, rips the shot, blocked. Now clears the zone. Here comes Napanee back the other way. Here's Frazier. Frazier try to cut in, stripped to the puck. Now Frontenac will head back the other way. Frontenac dumps it into the zone, but Napanee will clear it. And that'll go straight back to a Frontenac player, and that'll be Compo. 10 seconds left to go here in the first period. And that should do it for the first, with just 1 second to go, and we're done. Evan, what did you think of this first period for both teams?
Yeah, Josh, a high energy first, lots of action, and for us a little bit of action too, right? I mean, we thought this game would be starting at 3:30, ended up starting at 3 o'clock. The crew wasn't fully ready, and me and Grant had to catch our bearings there a little bit, but once the four of us got back, things were smooth for us, and smooth play down there. Both of these teams look ready to go. They're playing with good pace. Napanee has looked like the team that's in more control during this game, but also taking a few penalties, and Frontenac certainly getting their chances.
The score at the end of the first period is Napanee 2, Frontenac no score.
Now, no intermission between the first and second here, so we'll just have a meeting at the benches. And we'll go over to Grant Newman for see his analysis of so far.
Zooey mama. This is a very entertaining game so far. Napanee has been looking very sharp the whole time. And yeah, that's all I want to say. It's been exciting, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
And Frontenac gets possession off the opening draw. Here's Stanley Street. Napanee with possession of it, trying to break out of their own end. Makes a nice stretch pass, cutting through neutral ice, and the power play for Frontenac is over. Here comes Frontenac the other way, Stanley Street. Cutting in, backhand shoveled towards the net, and the net is off once more down in that end. And these nets are just going to keep coming off more and more frequently as the goalies are going to try and use those posts to push off to make cross crease slides, and without posts to keep the nets attached down anchored to the ice, they're going to come off quite frequently. And trying to dump the puck in, it's sent into the Frontenac bench. And it's pushed forward there by Frontenac. Frontenac forces a turnover, and they come in with speed. Here's Day. Day battling for it in the far side corner. Frontenac still with possession of it in the O-zone. As Mulville fights for it along with Day. Well, now, Frontenac throws a shot towards the goal, and the routine save there for Reed. Now, a battle ensues along the far side corner. It's worked free, and Napanee will have possession as they start to rush up ice. And now, cutting in. Centering pass, one-timer attempt. Wasn't quite there, just out of the reach of the streaking Napanee player. Here comes Napanee on the breakaway. Shot, no goal. Just manages to keep it out. That one put off the crossbar by Sophie Frazier. It dropped down right in front of the goal line, and diving on it was Fournier. Frontenac catches a lucky break there as they get caught in the middle of a bad change. Now here's Napanee, shot off the post, and it stays out. Napanee has now hit the iron twice in the span of just 15 seconds. Frontenac forces a turnover in neutral ice, but they turn it over themselves. And here comes Napanee. Frontenac looking to break out, Stannis Street. And in comes Stannis Street, trying to make a move around the defender, can't. There's Carly Ewins, the stalwart defenseman. And a big-time stop there from Fournier results in a goal for Napanee as the rebound pops out into the slot. And that is Napanee there to bury it. That is number 87, Peyton Brooks. Grant, what do you think?
Zooey mama. I mean, it looks like they could have scored at least 6 or 7 times there, so good for them for being able to capitalize on the last one.
Now, Napanee leading 3-0 with 12 minutes to go here. Frontenac dumps it in to the offensive end.
By number 87, Peyton Brooks. Assisted by number 11, Carly Hughes.
And there will be an assist on that goal from Brooks from Ewens. Frontenac throws on the break, sends it to the point. Shot ripped from the point, that one over the net and wide. Frontenac gets the rebound back, and the net is off again. However, the ref doesn't whistle it down, and the Napanee goalie puts it back into place herself. Now, down in the near side corner in the Frontenac end, the Napanee player falls, and chipping it out of the zone is Frontenac. Napanee hustling back to get it. And Ballance trying to carry it in. Unable to do so cleanly. Does get it to a teammate. Unable to center. Frontenac tries to throw that one up the boards. It's put back in their own zone, but they get possession of it. And here comes back the other way, Stanistreet. That one banked off the boards and hustled after by Napanee. However, getting back in time for Frontenac was Tessa Fox, as Fox denies another potential breakaway opportunity there for Napanee. Turned over, and Napanee has it in the offensive end once more. Skating in, shot over the net. Battling for it here. Centering pass attempt denied. That one kicks out towards the point. As the shot's thrown on and stopped by Fournier. Ten minutes to go here in the second period. And Frontenac will try and clear their zone. Able to do so. However, they're unable to maintain the puck to make a rush of their own, and it's sent back into their end. Oh, and a dangerous opportunity there, and a penalty on the play. And that'll be Peyton Brooks going back into the penalty box there, and we'll see Frontenac on the power play. And Frontenac, last time they were on the power play, gave up a short-handed goal. So we'll see if they can not do that this time and get a little bit better of a result. They unfortunately turned it over at the blue line on the offensive end, and that one's dumped in by Napanee. And the penalty there for illegal body contact. As in this league, with the KASSAA organization, there's a body checking is heavily regulated and for the most part disallowed. Centering pass attempt there for Frontenac doesn't go, but they hold it in the zone. Passing around, look for options. Napanee setting up the passive box. They attempt to slap that one down the ice, and that one deflecting off Frontenac's stick and chased down into the ozone by Napanee. Napanee throws a shot towards the goal there as forechecking pressure is applied there from Boomauer. And that one blocked here, and we might have a break here. Scores! Ella Mulder blocks a long-range pass and springs her own breakaway before she goes and buries it. That's a second short-handed goal against Frontenac. Frontenac's power players cannot be happy with that result. Wouldn't you say so, Evan?
Yeah, for sure, Josh. A certainly interesting display of special teams. Like I said, you're usually not expecting to be scored on twice for a short-handed. Napanee could very easily make this 3 here.
Goals for number 91, Ellen Mulder. Unassisted. Time to goal, 8-12. That's Mulder, unassisted.
Now, Napanee setting up a play short-handed in the O-zone. As they send that one to the point. Shot fired from the point, wide of the net. No, Osborne with it. That pass picked off by Stanistreet. Stanistreet skating in with her teammate, Olive. And Frontenac trying to put on pressure, and their power play is over. Frontenac's power play is over now, and we are back to even strength. Shot ripped towards the goal, but that one goes wide. You know, Frontenac trying to hustle back the other way. Shot attempt blocked and chipped out of the zone by Napanee. Frontenac forces a turnover in neutral ice, and Stanistreet tries to cut back in. Tied up by several defenders and unable to make anything happen there. Crossing the line there is Frontenac. Skating in, centering pass. That one filters to the corner. Napanee circling back behind their own net. Throws a pass upward, up the boards. Frontenac has it now. It banks the pass off the boards, just out of the reach of Poulon. However, they get it back. And it's chipped out of the zone by Napanee. And now Napanee will hustle back the other way. Throws on the brakes in the corner. And sends that one out back towards the point. Shot ripped from the point, but blocked by Brooks. Brooks fighting for it down below the goal line, centering fast. Everyone kind of lost track of the puck there, except for Brooks. A shot on goal, blocked. And the net has come off again. But just to go back on that play, the shot from the point and the save from Fournier. The rebound popped up and landed right in the blue paint on the open net. On the side with the open cage. Napanee unable to bury it as some defensive stick work there from Frontenac defenders tied up the stick of the player attempting to tap it in. Another shot sent towards the goal, but that one will go wide. Napanee still in the O-zone. They dump that one back into the opposite corner. Frontenac finally manages to come up with possession of it in their own end, but they immediately give it up. Back to Napanee. Napanee putting on the squeeze here. It's turned over once more. Frontenac turns it over again in their own end. At this point, they have to be tired. Napanee strips Frontenac of the puck, and they'll keep playing some offensive-minded shifts here as Napanee cycles it around the Frontenac defense. Skating up by the point, sends a pass over, shot on goal, absorbed, pops out, and covered by Fournier. And a much-needed change will be granted there to tired Frontenac defenders. Face off to the right of Fournier. Won by Napanee. Shot off the outside of the net. Napanee at the point. Cycling around. Shot from the point. Scores! Shot from the point beats Fournier clean. And Napanee now leads 5-0. And head straight back to center ice. And Stanley Street wins that draw to herself. And that goal was scored by Carly Ewens and assisted by Carly Wales. And now Napanee will head to the power play. Frontenac, who is already struggling in their own end and struggling to generate offense, will now have to kill off a very strong power play unit. This will be a dangerous, dangerous opportunity here for Napanee to extend their lead even more. Frontenac chips that one out of the zone. Napanee with possession in their own end. Wait for everyone to be ready, and now they streak up the ice. Osborne with it. Osborne behind the net. Chips it for a centering pass. Tied up. Shot from the point. That one blocked.
4 minutes for hit contact. Time of the penalty, 4:20. That's Stanley Street for hit contact.
And
at 4:20.
penalty will be given to Stanley Street, and there will be a penalty for head contact. As once again, with the rules that we were playing with, there's very, very tight restrictions on checking, and any contact with the head is usually a penalized off offense. Napanee trying to skate up the near boards. Not enough space, so they'll curl back. Osborne chips it to a teammate. Now they'll skate in. Napanee taking their time with it. Shot from the point. That one deflecting off some players and into the corner. Back to the point. The shot, that one wide of the net as well. And that one chipped down into the corner, and able to hold the zone is Napanee. Poked forward by Frontenac, and I have an opportunity here. Here comes Frontenac. Oh, and interesting option there as opts to drop it back for a trailing teammate who's covered by 3 separate defenders. Would have liked to see Poussin keep going forward there and potentially take a shot, even if it comes from a bad angle. Napanee with possession of it in their own end. They send that one over to Marlowe, who chips it to a teammate. And setting up now is Napanee. Here, Weiss with it. Weiss sends that one back to the point for Ewens. Nice pass made. Scores! That's Ruby Marlowe with a power play goal. And that'll be the 6th goal of the game for the Hawks. And that'll be Marlowe from Ewens. Napanee with possession now. Stanley Street blocking that one and chipping it forward. Ewens almost loses an edge there, but she manages to stay on her feet.
Deputy goal scored by number 96, Ruby Marlowe. Assisted
Now here's Marlowe with it again. Stripped of the puck. Her teammate gets it back for her, and shot put on net, saved by Fournier.
That's Marlowe from Boomhauer and Ewens at 2:01.
Secondary assist as well goes to Boomhauer. That's one heck of a name, I would say, for a hockey player. Here comes Frontenac. They dump that one from the blue line. Tied up along the boards. Puck stripped away. Turned over. Frontenac with it now. Trying to beat this powerful Napanee defense. Napanee looking stalwart in the defensive end so far. A goose egg on the board for Frontenac. Frontenac forces a turnover on the far side boards, but are immediately stripped of it by Napanee. Napanee rings that one around the boards to try and clear it. And battling for it now. Incoming. Breakaway. Shot wide of the net. Brooks had a nice small breakaway opportunity there, but unable to capitalize as she sends that one wide. Brooks makes a stick lift to get her team the puck back, and Napanee will chip that one down into the corner. Now here's Compo. Finds Olive. Olive will dump that one in. And that'll do it for the second period. 5-0 the score after 2. Now, Evan, what have you thought of the game so far and this powerful Napanee squad?
I mean, obviously it's been one-sided enough. Napanee has been the dominant team for 2 periods, but Frontenac, they have a heavily shortened bench. Not all of their players are here and available to play. They have another game later with some of their members on a different roster, so if they opted to sit out of this one, you would expect the result to be closer if they had their full roster, but obviously Napanee taking advantage of that here in the first 2 periods.
And what have you thought about the special teams, especially the shorthanded unit for Napanee there?
Obviously the Napanee penalty killers know something here, Josh. They certainly have the playbook on Frontenac. Usually when you're on a penalty kill, you're trying to just break even, not get scored on, but no, they're going for goals on the penalty kill, Josh.
Yeah, indeed. They are, you could say, puck hunting there. Now, Frontenac has possession of it, and Stanley-Street cuts back in. Stripped to the puck by Napanee, and Napanee will chip that one out. Chipped forward, and here comes the breakaway for Osborne. Osborne in, makes a move, and delay is too late, and she sends that one wide of the net. Now in comes Frontenac, tries a shot attempt, but shot disrupted by Napanee's defense. Here comes Osborne once more. Osborne skating in. Drops that one off for Frazier. Frazier trying to cut in, but her shot is blocked by the defenders. But finds Ewens. Ewens throws a shot on goal, and that one's a routine stop there for Fournier. Ewens with it. And sends a shot that's tipped down, but a pad stop there from Fournier again. Ewens gets it back. Tries to chip it into the center, but Frontenac players were there and her teammates were not. Stanley taking her time with it. Surveying for options. Opts to flip the puck up. And now it will be picked up by Wales. Or that, she tries to send one for it and turns it over. Offside Frontenac.
At this time, we'd like to once again thank the students up in the press box for the live streaming of the game today. Josh Miles, Evan Tyfer, Grant Newman, and Tristan Messenger. We would also like to thank the Invista Center and their staff for hosting the KASSAA Girls and Boys Hockey Championship. Their hospitality was much appreciated.
And puck battle won there by Frontenac before immediately ensuing in another puck battle that's again won by Frontenac. And Frontenac streaking into the zone. They need to try and distance themselves from those defenders. Obviously very hard to do so with a very short bench there compared to Napanee. The rest is just much different there. Napanee streaks in, shot stopped by Fournier off the paddle and rebound put into the corner expertly. Battle ensues along the near side boards by the point for the puck. And now it makes its way down to the near side corner. That one's poked free by Frontenac, and they'll pick it up on the far side. Chipped forward by Napanee now, who has possession. And they'll cycle it around. Eberle tries the shot that's blocked. And now Frontenac will pick it up once more in their own end in the near side boards. Tries to pass forward, but misses the mark, and icing is waved off. Here's Brooks. That one's chipped forward by Lazarokos. Lazarokos dumps that one back in. It'll be pursued by Brooks into the far side corner. Battling for it. Shot sent towards the net, and that one goes wide. Here comes Frontenac back the other way. Here's Latham. Latham battling in the corner. Attempts the centering pass, but picked off by Lazarokos. Lazarokos with it, still battling. Tries to throw it forward, but Stanley Street is there for the Falcons. Looking for options. Frontenac breaking out here. Unable to gain the zone as they turn it over, but it is sent straight back to Campo. Napanee with possession here as they take their time. And here's Osborne. Osborne circles back, and killing the clock a little bit here is Napanee, as they don't really need to plot any more goals than they already have. Frontenac fires the shot, and that one's blocked in. Where is it? It's in the far side corner. Napanee trying to kill some clock by just pinning it up on the boards. Now they'll try and break up, but they turn over, but stripped of the puck is Frontenac, and so here comes Osborne. Osborne tries to force cut outside towards the corner. Tries the centering pass, but that one will drop back all the way to the point. Now, still battling for it. Turned over, and Mulder fires a pass over to Osborne. Back to Mulder. Mulder gains his own, rips a shot, glove stop. Mulder again on her own rebound, and it's covered up by Fournier after two big stops. Evan, what have you thought about the performance of Fournier so far, as she's been peppered with a lot of shots from the Hawks.
I mean, yeah, I think she's had a solid performance. Obviously, the scoreline wouldn't maybe necessarily reflect so, but she's been relatively sharp. Obviously, a lot of breakaways on her, short-handed goals where her team is kind of disorganized and no one really knows what's going on. So ultimately, they're down by quite a bit, but certainly not for a lack of effort. She's still been decent tonight here, Josh.
Indeed, she's made a lot of great saves when they've needed. When they've needed her to, unfortunately, just you can't get every one. Centering pass, right in front of the net, shot, shot again, saved by Fournier, shot off the post. Now Napanee comes within inches of making it a 7-goal lead. Here's Stanley Street cutting in, tries to make a move, almost gets around the defenders, but doesn't quite. Chipped forward by Day. Day pursues the chipped puck. And now a turnover forced by Napanee, and they'll try and bring it up ice. Here comes Napanee. Napanee cutting in. And forced out towards the corner by the defense. Boomauer makes a pass and it attempted to send that one through the crease, but Fournier was sharp and gloved that one. Shot thrown towards the goal from the point. It doesn't make it there, and it's thrown out of the zone. Stretch pass made to a width wide on the ring, but it's Frontenac chips it in to the Napanee zone. Napanee tries to fire it out. Unable to do so, Frontenac gets possession of it in the offensive zone. Looking for options here, but the defense is just suffocating when trying to cut in towards the net. Napanee is doing a great job holding the Frontenac attackers to the outside of the ice. Frontenac turns over possession before it's turned over again, right back to Frontenac. Shot attempt blocked. Now here comes Brooks. Brooks chips that one forward. Brooks along the near side wall. Centering pass, and that one just slips through the stick. And powerful shot. Rings all the way around, and that'll be way offside. As Frazier had not gotten out of the zone just yet. We'll see a draw just outside the blue line. And a nice saucer feed sent over to Frazier. Frazier throws the shot, scores! Frazier with the toe drag release. And she buries the 7th goal of the game for the Hawks. Frazier with an elite shot and a great saucer feed to set that up. That one banked off the board. Frazier tips that one in, and Fournier will cover as the one deflects right to her. Draw one by Frontenac, and now Ewens takes the shot.
Deputy goals for number 10, Sophie Fraser. Assisted by number 47, Carly Wales.
And Carly Wales will get an assist on that play from the 7th goal there, scored by Napanee. And we're now in running time with just under 4 minutes left to go here, as the timekeepers will just opt to run the clock, as with a 7-goal deficit, it's pretty substantial, and not many teams can come back from that. So they'll just keep on playing the timeout here, and we'll see what Frontenac can do with those remaining 3.5 minutes. In comes Napanee. Shot thrown, but misses the margin. Napanee fighting for it along the near side boards. They get possession of it, and they dump that one back in deep in the far side corner now. Here Frontenac chips it forward, trying to make something happen here. Now they've got it back in their own end. They send that one off the boards. However, it'll be a turnover right to Napanee. And Napanee with it now, and they'll send that one in deep. Pursued along the boards there by Marlowe. Now Frontenac has it again. Frontenac turns it over once more, and it's dumped right back into their end. Compo with it now. Campos goes to skate it in, but a poke check there from a Napanee defender there. That'll be Marlowe. Marlowe's stick with the poke check sends that one into the Napanee bench. Now, Frontenac trying to chip that one around the boards to break out, unable to do so. Now, a battle ensues. It's thrown towards the goal, and the rebound is sent straight into the corner. Taking their time with it, number 87, Brooks. Stretch pass attempt, and it eventually makes it to its intended recipient after taking a couple bounces off some defensive sticks, and Brooks will battle for it on the far side, and we will enter the last minute of play in the third period. Here comes Stanistreet for Frontenac. Stanistreet cutting in, makes a move, dancing around, stopped by Reed. Now Frontenac tries to shovel one in, but Reed holds the post and keeps her shutout alive. "20 seconds and counting here." Frontenac wins that draw. Throws it towards the net. Reed gets the pad on that one as well. Nice stretch pass intended there for Frazier is picked off. And here comes Frontenac back the other way. 1 second, and that'll do it. The Napanee Golden Hawks are your KASSAA Girls Hockey Champions by a final score of 7-0. Reed completes the shutout, and the Golden Hawks put the gold in their name.
The final score, Napanee 7, Frontenac no score. The winners in your 2026 KASSAA Girls Champions, Napanee Hawks.
Now both teams are getting ready to exchange sportsmanship and shake hands here. All around great sportsmanship from both squads, and Frontenac can't be disappointed with their performance here today. Obviously missing a lot of important members for their squad, and Napanee with a full bench, and that is just something that is really difficult to overcome if you're Frontenac. You know, with the being forced to double shift and constantly being put under pressure from fresh legs. It's a difficult and arduous task, but they, despite what the score may suggest, they played well, and so Frontenac, you should be proud of yourself. Remember, if you're Napanee, of course, you gotta be pretty happy with the result as Napanee takes home gold. Evan, after this one, what have you thought of the game? What did you think of the game in general?
I mean, obviously it was a good game, Josh. I mean, relatively tightly contested up to a point, and I mean, Frontenac, they still had a valiant effort, obviously missing a lot of players, but Napanee, I mean, Zooey Mama, what a performance.
Now, a little bit of a special presentation here as the Community Foundation of Kingston area is presenting a check of $2,000 for the Napanee Golden Hawks.
Joining them are members of the Kingston Red Barons Legacy Fund, Cookie Cartwright and Annabelle Twitty. Members of the Kingston Red Barons Legacy Fund.
And they're also joined by members of the Kingston Red Barons Legacy Fund. It's a special moment is celebrated here. And now we should begin the medal presentation before we prepare for the trophy presentation.
Silver medal winners, Frontenac Secondary School Falcons. Gold medal winners, Napanee District Secondary School Hawks.
And the Napanee District Secondary School Hawks are your gold medalists here for the 2026 KASSAA girls hockey season. And Frontenac will be your silver medalists for the season. Medals being presented to both teams. And a couple shout outs. Just want to thank Invista Center for hosting the KASSAA finals. And Paul, the commissioner of KASSAA Sports, for organizing and setting up the event and allowing all these players and athletes to showcase their talents here in this game. And most importantly of all, thank you to you, dear listener. We appreciate every moment that you watch our stream. And it means a lot to us because we do this for you, not for us. And we enjoy bringing you the finest KASSAA action whenever we can. And so we hope you have enjoyed yourself. And no matter who you're cheering for, hopefully you're glad that this stream exists so you could watch a game that you may or may not have been able to attend in person. And this stream will, for the foreseeable future, will be here, and so you can always look back at some of your favorite memories. Napanee taking their time handing out the medals. As Frontenac gets their team picture taken. with the medal ceremony concluded, we should be prepared
At this time, the Kingston
to hand out
Trophy
the,
will now be presented to
the KASSAA Championship Trophy.
I would ask Cookie Cartwright and Annabelle Twitty to come forward with the trophy. For the captains of Napanee, please come forward.
And now the captains of the Napanee Hawks will step forward to receive the trophy. And there it is. Once again, the Napanee Golden Hawks are your KASSAA girls hockey champions. Thank you for joining us here this afternoon, and we hope you have a great rest of your night. I've been Josh Miles, joined alongside Evan Tyfair, Grant Newman, and Tristan